What's going on, folks? Get it, double O back at it, folks. We're in here now. We're going from that simple layout, guys. I don't have it up right now. I'll have to go snag it here in just a second. But we're working off that simple layout we just finished up with in the last video, and it took me a little while, but I got it here. So let me go ahead and we're gonna push out this last video here for this. So right now, if you haven't, go to your file explorer. Let's create a folder. I called mine Loon Desk 1.0. You can call it whatever you like. So after that, let's learn a little bit here. So for the ones who may not know, this is VS Code. So I'm gonna assume you already had this installed. I'm not gonna do a whole walkthrough through any of that stuff. So whatever text editor that you may have, this is the one I chose to do as Visual Studio Code. Use what you like. All right, so we've created the folder. I'm gonna assume you know how to do all these things. And we're gonna try something here though. We're gonna do a controller command if you're on Mac. Now the back tick. We'll see if it plays friendly. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're gonna find out. All right, here we go. Control back tick. It's gonna open up the terminal. So whatever you may have right there. Hopefully you got Bash if you're on Windows. If you do not, if you're on Linux already, you're already good to go. And then we're gonna do this command. Again, you don't have to do any of this. You can go straight to the folder, create a file, call it index.html, and a couple other things we're getting ready to do. So as you see this part of the video, you can either tag along or go ahead and do those things. So this is what I'm getting ready to do. So right now, I have touch index.html. That's a command in Linux. It's going to allow for me to create that file index.html. Double ampersand means we're going to do some multiple commands. So right now, I'm going to do touch. Should I say? I want to create an index.html. I want to make a directory called img. And I'm going to make a directory called CSS, which this is pretty extreme for what I'm getting ready to do. But I just kind of wanted you to just see what these things look like. All right. So we're going to do let's go back. We're going to do and these are make directories, make a folder, create a folder. Just like right click and new folder in your file explorer. All right. And what else we're going to do? So we got our directory img, CSS, and yeah, that's it for now. I want to hit enter. So once we hit enter, let's see, zoom in a little bit. Sure, zoom in a hint. And I have CSS. I have img for images. And I have index.html. All right, so we have that already. What we're going to do though, while we're here, let's go ahead and right click. We don't want to do any more cool tricks. We do a style.css, and there we go. So after that, I'm going to do control command back to. Let's get rid of that. We don't need it. Next, we're going to do our first emit command. If you're not familiar with VS Code and some of the features that it has features called emit, E-M-M-E-T. These are just short, abbreviated ways to spin up some code. So we do exclamation mark. It kind of lets you know on Windows. I'm not sure how it works on Mac. I've been getting different feedback from others about it, but if you press enter, there we go, our what they call a boilerplate. All right, guys, we're going to start right here between the body tags, and we're going to use a little bit of emit. Like we just did a second ago when we did the boilerplate. We're going to do a little bit of this moving forward. I'm going to assume you got a decent understanding of HTML, also CSS. I want to make this a little more efficient, so we're going to kind of go through these, and I'll explain as we progress. But let's do that. So let's go ahead and start with the header section. I'm going to do header with a class. That's what the dot is for. That's nav bar. And then I'm going to go with a nav. Again, as I'm doing this, guys, the crazy thing about coding is there's 100 different ways we can do this. I just thought of the most practical way I could possibly think of at the moment. So I just wanted to kind of just go with this. So we got a million different ways we can go about this. We will be dabbling in those different ways as we progress and build more complex layouts, so it has more moving parts. But we're going to keep it simple for right now. So we have nav dot class, I should say, class of nav. And then from there, we're going to continue to make our way through here. I'm going to double check here with my recorder here, make sure everything's running right. All right, next we're going to go inside there. We're going to do a div class of nav brand. in here, this is where we're on the navigation, right? So we're at the top of the screen on that navigation, and it's going to be this section right here. So this is where we are. So remember, when we zoom in a little bit, this practical layout we're working on. We have this is the nav brand. This is our nav. The div with nav bar is this nav bar brand, and then we're gonna have the next part, which will be nav links once we hop back in there. So let's go in there. The nav brand. Let's go ahead and actually have to drag this over here in this one. So we got an image. You can actually do image, press enter. It'll take care of the source for us. So I don't have it over here just yet, but we will have it. So we're gonna have the IMG. We're gonna have logo hyphen big. Now again, this is up to you all. I'm not gonna have a file even around. Just find you something. All you have to do is, by the way, let's hop back over there. All you got to do is come over here, and that logo you made, whatever you put up here, it's totally up to you. I did Control E. All right, Controller Command E, and you just work on your export, and then you pick your export route where you want to head it to, make it a design or one better, and we'll explore it deeper. But you can pick the web version that'll give you a small size and a larger size. Okay, so yeah, that's why it has the ×1 ×2. And again, to get that, you got to do this way to get small and large, or if you just want one particular size. It really doesn't matter. Hit export, go find it in your file explorer, bring it on over, and that's what we have here. All right, and that's what mine will be named when I get it. So, Loom Desk logo. So what we have is an image with a source. This is our directory, our route to our file, and that's gonna be the name of that image. Once I get my hands on it, I'll put it over here. The alt is the alternate message. This is the message that's gonna take, or should I say, this is the message that shows on screen readers. So as you add those read aloud type of applications that are in your browser, they'll pick this up. So these are for the ones who are visually impaired. It helps increase, your site's accessibility, and also raises your SEO. So this is super important. You really want to have that at all times. So I'm going to have Loom Desk logo. Down below, we're going to do a div with a class of nav links. I got the nav links, and let's do a little cool trick here. I'm going to do I'm going to do ×1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have a home, about, blogs, and contact. I'm not going to do anything with them. It's for looks. So totally would have liked those all on one line, but no biggie. We'll just come on down to the end, and we'll sort them as needed. All right. For every one of these, I'm going to hold Alt, and then we're going to make our way in here. Holding Alt, I'm going to click into each of these spots. So Alt or Option, click in, and then we're going to get a hashtag. Let's go ahead and drop a hashtag here. This is kind of a rule of thumb, kind of just so your link can be active and just kind of have a point on it. That's what we pretty much did. So we got home, about. You're going to put these between each of these anchor tags. Again, we got a million different ways we could have spun this up. This is just the way that I thought of for this video. All right, so home, about, blogs, contact. And now let's keep it moving here. Let's go to we're outside of the nav now. I'll tell you what, let's do that real quick. Let's take a look. We're gonna take a look. If you don't have it, you need to go to extensions over here in VS Code. I got so many different things in here. I need to get rid of some of this stuff. I'm not even using it, but you can come in here and then you can look for an extension of live server, and there you go. So mine's already installed. You see a little gearbox or a little gear here. Before that, though, you'll see install. Just grab the first one you see. All right. Once you do that, let's keep it simple. Let's do a right click, and then we can go down towards the bottom. You can start learning your short keys. That'll be an excellent way to keep yourself highly productive. I need to do a video on that about short keys. With anything that you do, it could make life so much simpler. But anyway, I'm going to open a live server, and then that's when we'll open some things up. And I am going to move it over. And this is what we have. it looks a hot mess, right? Nothing's going on, right? So this is what we have so far. What I'm going to do also too while I'm here, let's go ahead and I'm going to go snag that image, folks. So I'm going to actually leave you on that screen for a sec. I'm going to actually go over here real quick and snag it. All right, so this is what we're working with right now. All right, so we have it right here. We have our logo, and then we have our nav links. Or in this case, just some links, right? All right, let's keep moving. Let's jump in. Let's go back. And we'll hop back in here. We're gonna go outside the header. Let's keep it moving. Let's go with our first section. So ideally, you can keep slapping divs up. The more conventional way is to actually create sections, because that's how they will kind of appear when you're doing these. I won't say the right way, but when you're doing them a certain way, right, you will want to do this. So this is what we got. We're gonna do some more image. So we got section, class of flex, and class of section 1. So it actually makes both of those classes stick to that section. I'm gonna do a div with the class of avatar. Now I've just freestyled these. I've got to be honest. I always struggle with naming my classes, and yeah, it's just this name I'm gonna always have to work on. So it takes time. No biggie. All right. So we have that div class of avatar inside of sections and an image inside of that first div. All you have to do is do a ./ that brings you out. In this case, it sends you to your image folder and whatever we're going to put there, which is going to be avatar 1. Our alt, let's call it avatar 1. So totally, we could really name it something more meaningful if this is something that we actually do. All right. So next we got a div class of main. And then inside of there, we're going to do a let's go with an H2, and we're going to actually backpedal H2 with the class of heading. Use a heading class inside of that H2. Now, some of that, if you go back on the design, which we'll hop to in just a second, and you'll realize that some of this already, I made sure I had a little bit of headline for us, and the other half of it I had as lorem ipsum or dummy text. Let me show you a cool trick here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do P for paragraph. Inside of that div class of main, okay, this is the second div. So we're going to do that, we're going to do P, and we're going to do the greater than sign, and then we're going to pass it lorem. Let's do lorem 20. So that gives us dummy text up to 20 words of dummy text inside of our paragraph tags. Pretty cool, right? So that's what we have. All right, so let's go take a look at how it's coming out. So right now, as you see, we got our avatar, and then we got a little bit of verbiage here. We got the H2, and then we got our dummy text, right? So I'm not gonna obviously keep coming back and forth. Just wanted you to know like how it looks, or see how it looks. Not just see how it looks, see how crazy it looks before the magic happens, right? So that's all HTML is. HTML is just very bare bones, very, very straightforward, and it's not exciting, really. I mean, it is, but it's not. So anyway, so we got that. We got our first one out of the way, out of the main section. We got our H2, we got our paragraph, and then we're right below it. So I'm going to come back up. I'm going to do a button with the class of CTA, which is a call to action. And you'll learn later on as time progresses what that is, but that's pretty much, I said street. Oh my goodness. We're going to start free trial. And that's what we have set up for that button. All right. So it's pretty straightforward what's going on with it. Let's keep it moving. As we keep going here. We're going to go down, and now we've completed the main section. I want to go down, and we got 2 more sections to go. Or is it 2 more? We got about 3 more sections to go, but we're going to kind of move a little bit more efficiently here. So we got a section with the class of center blurb, and we have it with the class of section 2. Now, I'm going to let you know in advance, we have some class settings here that we're not going to necessarily use. So I've kind of future-proofed my project. Again, you can take your own approach, only add what's needed. But for me, I just want to take that approach. Now, if we can type right, we're going to do inside that section, we're going to do an H2 with the class of heading. And then I'll go ahead and do this because I could have done that with the first one. We're going to leave this in lowercase because we're going to use CSS in uppercase. So we'll be seeing that later on. But let LoonDesk help you with that. Okay, whereas, being organized suck. By the way, let's put an exclamation mark because it really sucks to be organized. Is this the best way to kind of display some content? Probably not, but hey, it's our world. We're just going to do whatever we like. So let's do that lower 20 again. Why not? Lower 20. And then we're going to go down below there. And then that section is done. So as you notice, now that's one thing I always used to tell my students is that HTML is pretty much, it's a rinse and repeat process. You keep doing the same thing. That's it. There's nothing magical about it. You just do the same stuff. All right. So next we got a section with a class of flex and with a class of section -3 and with a class of MT. So I did a little bootstrap there, MT margin top. We're not using bootstrap, but that's one of their universal class codes. All right. So in this section, we're going to have, let's see. I'm going to have, what we're going to have in here. I'm going to have, I got the let help with that. I want to do our section 3. Let's work in an H2 with a class of heading again. And then we get things organized quickly. All right, that's what we have for our H2. And notice, remember what I told you guys, H1, you want one H1 per page. That's going to be how search consoles scan your site, crawl your site, look through, and find titles for each page. So H1s, that's how they serve up. Like when you're reading a book, you think when we read a book, chapter 1, we don't see that big bold text 2 to 3 times of chapter 1 throughout the chapter 1 in the book, right? That would be pretty crazy. Like, what the heck? So this serves it the same way. So it's going to read it as such. It's going to always say, whoa, okay, which one? It's going to lose the integrity of the page. And again, that's where the scoring come in at. How valuable, how reliable is your content, as far as all the way around. Is it accessible? Easy to read? Is it organized well? How fast does the page load? All these things. So all those are factors, right? All right, we're rambling, but let's go. Get organized quickly. Let's do some more dummy text in there. This is all so short. I didn't really fill this thing out, but we're just gonna make it do what it do. All right. So now that section 3 is done, let's get organized quickly. And I did forget something up top. Let's go above. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna sort it out in a second, folks. I'm gonna go right above there. Let's do that. We gotta do a div with a class of blurb 2. So we're gonna clear this out. So what we're gonna do is inside of that div, I'm looking to, we are really butchering this thing up. Go down in here on section 3. I'm gonna do a div, the class of blurb 2. Apologies, folks. I'm all over the place, it seems like. And we're going to take that closing div out of the way. So we're on our section 3, okay? Flex section 3. And here we got a div. And then we're going to close that div out. All right? So when I hit save, it's going to clean things up. So again, that's a setting that you may not have. It's called Prettier. It's an extension as well. We might as well cut to it. I didn't mean to veer us off, but Prettier. We'll do the same thing. I just showed you how to get over the extensions. Come over that way. My gear is ready for it. Grab the first one you see. And then you can highlight your document. Right click. Format document. You may have to loop back through this to catch that. Right click, format document. And what's going to happen is when you do format document, it's going to say, hey, look, you have two different versions of an I would say editor, but of a formatter. Yes. So you got two versions of a formatter on here. Which one would you like to use? You hit the configure button, and then you go pick out of your one of your two options. Prettier be the one you will select. All right. And then down below there, guys, we're going to do a div. Let's do a div with the class of. We're going to do a div with a class of graphic. We're going to do it with a class of graphic -1. All right, so what we're doing now, guys, is pretty much we're creating a container here. Okay, our container is section. It's going to be a 2-column layout. If you're wondering, it's going to be a simple 2-column layout on our page, and this is what it's going to consist of. It's going to consist of, in this case, like I said, some verbiage, headline, and some text. I'm opposing end of it. You're going to have an image. So kind of what we've already been doing so far. So if you were wondering, what the heck are we doing? That's what we're doing. All right. So I'm going to go through these because you already know how it works here. And then this is where I'll place the content. And what can I do here? Stats diagram. I'm just making something here for the verb for the alt text, but it's related to this graphic. So the graphic is this. So I got the graphic here. It looks like, some little diagram of some sort, kind of a little layout, whatever. So whatever you want to name it, right? So it's based on whatever content you have for yours. So this is what I have for mine. All right. So we got this div. If you see the start and stop on the highlights. That's an open and close div. Same here. And they're all inside of that section. All right. All right. We're getting close to the home stretch now, folks. We're coming down through here a little bit, and we're going to work through our section with a class of features. And then we're going to do inside there a div with a class of flex, which I got to make sure that'll stick for later on. I may leave that there. It should be good. I'm going to do a div with a class of center blurb, center hyphen blurb. So I'm just making divs inside of divs inside of divs right now. So we're gonna we're gonna have some icons coming here. We'll import those here momentarily. I just want to kind of keep it on deck. So right now we have inside of that center blurb. So we have section, call it class features, div class flex. We're gonna have a div inside of here. It's gonna have the center blurb, and then inside of that center blurb is going to be an icon. I'm going to do an H3 with the class of heading, of course. And that may change too, but we'll see. Inside of there, I'm going to say save time. And then let's pass through here. I'm going to do a paragraph with a lorem of 15. Just go around. That honestly may be too much. Let's pull back. Lorem 10. That'll be more than enough. And then we're going to be outside of that div, that section. All right. I'm going to get ready to do something with that too, by the way. So we have this flex, and then we have this div. This is honestly going to repeat. We can go ahead and do it, but I think I want to. We'll see. I'm probably going to hang. Now, you know what? Let's do that. Go ahead and do it 3 times, guys. All I did was copy and paste it. So go ahead and drop that 3 times. Or if you want to know another cool trick, you can highlight it all. And you can hold shift and alt or shift and option. And down will work, but mine glitches. So I'm going to do an up arrow, and it'll duplicate it. So the down button is supposed to make every time you duplicate, you'll either hang tight in this one if you stop here, or hang tight in there once you finish that one. But with up, you'll stay in the original form or original component, and they make duplicates down below. Anyway, those are going to be cards if you're wondering. So those will be cards. They'll lay out like on web pages, like how we got right here on the web page. Let's go back to our design. Sometimes you gotta go back and reference. So we're gonna go back right now. We've done this section, we've done that section, and now we're gonna do this section. So it's gonna save time, and we're gonna have it all laid out like that. And then down here at the bottom, what are you waiting for? Getting ready to come up next with a little bit of verbiage and that call to action button, and then our footer, short and sweet. All right, so let's work our way back to our code. Let's hop back in there, get some things served up. All right, so we got our 3 there. We got that section. Let's come out of that section. So that's our feature section. Down below there, we're going to do a section with a class of center blurb. And we're going to do a class of ending, hyphen section. And then inside of there, we're going to do it our H2 with the class of heading. And then we'll do what are you waiting for? Right? What are you waiting for? Finish them off, guys. Let's finish them off. That's what we're doing. What are you waiting for? See what, can I do that? I probably can't. Start. Probably can't. But this is not gonna work all the way. Free trial. Hey, why do I play this? Not gonna work. It was getting ready to work. All right. Yep. So open and close. Start your free trial today. So what I'm gonna do though is for free trial, I'm gonna use a strong tag. This makes free trial bold. All right, gives it a font weight of bold, and then I'm gonna work that in. So bold, thick, dark text, like our headings are doing, right? So then after that, we're gonna stay inside of this section, okay? This is the section right before the footer, so that little last snippet you saw at the bottom. So we're gonna do a button with a class of CTA, like we've been doing, and we're gonna go ahead and put on the inside start free trial. I know you saw me earlier doing some lower cases and stuff, so I don't recall styling this one to handle that in uppercase, but I think I probably did. So sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Okay. Our last spot is footer. Footer with a class of footer. Whoops, if I can feel right. Footer. And center blurb again. Again, you can name these whatever you like, guys. I mean, I'm totally winging it. Like, so that's the cool thing about it. Classes are amazing in CSS. It allows for you to target HTML and influence it with some sort of style, whether it's the color, bigger font, underline, you name it. So this is pretty amazing. All right, I'm going to show you some old school HTML. So we're going to do an H3. I want to do something bold but small. So we're doing that little footer at the bottom now. So we're going to do an ampersand. That's the and sign, shift, and the number 7. If you probably got the same keyboard I have, we're going to do that with copy and then semicolon. If you notice, it turned to purple. That is an HTML code to get you the copyright symbol. All right, so they show me. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's hop to it. There we go. Scroll down at the bottom. There you go. So right there, you see the copyright symbol. It is cool how small things like that are out of the box and made available in HTML. All right, so we got that. And then we're going to do our little usual, like when I do some client sites for work. Loom desk, period, all rights reserved. It already read my mind. It's crazy. Now, that too being said, folks, you may see all kind of little extra stuff popping up. You probably paid attention to it if you're familiar with VS Code, but I'm using Tab 9. Tab 9 is an amazing tool. Definitely not a sponsor of the video, but an absolutely amazing tool that helps those image features that I'm using. They have some that are kind of I can't even like wing it to show it to you, but they have different features. Primarily when I'm doing React and trying to build something with it, I get a lot of these shorthanded image versions of things that only Tab 9 can do. I mean, it is pretty freaking amazing. All right, but I digress. Now the footer is complete, folks. So this is it for the HTML. We just take a step back and look at it, and this is what we have. So we got what, right under 100 lines of code from top to bottom. Pretty crazy, right? So what we're working on next, we're gonna go and cut over to the CSS and start styling this bad boy up. All right, so CSS can get a little messy, guys. So you should have, if you haven't by now, it's good practice. See, I have the IMG folder. You open and close it there, or expand it or collapse it. And I'm gonna just close that out of the way so it don't look so cluttered over here. And then we're gonna go into our style.css, all right? So I'm gonna give you some best practices. And again, we're just starting off. So nothing majorly intense, but some fundamentals you'll like to have when you're starting off. So again, I'm hoping I'm speaking with the ones who kind of fresh in on code. You got a decent understanding of HTML, CSS already, but no big deal. More so on the CSS piece. I was just doing some emit abbreviations on HTML. Didn't want to lose you in the sauce. Anyway, we're over here at CSS styling here, and we're about to work some things in. Let's see. So let's go with it. And we're going to take it from the top here. I want to make sure I got some good class codes in here. I almost feel like I'd be so much faster probably just pasting it in, but let's work some stuff out. So first thing first, I wanted to bring in, I'm going to actually paste this in though. Now this I will paste in, folks, because I'm going to let you go spread your wings and do your own thing. But if Google Fonts, if you're not familiar with it, I will have that link in the description below. Go there and find you some typography, because the most bland thing I can think of is just leaving your text the way it is. It's so dry. The browser has just the ugliest default typography there is. So get you some good, nice font, a nice font family. So mine, I grabbed Comforta. I'll spell it out as I add it to my code, but it's nice. I like it. It stood out to me, so I'm using it. So first thing first, let's get some root elements going on here. Let's get some root coding going on here. So the root, this is your main. These are some of your main or basic pieces. These are some of your basic things you want to put into your layout. All right. So with styling, let me give you an example. I almost feel like I'm better just saying it instead of sitting there struggling trying to explain it. So right here we're gonna have your colors, guys. So I'm putting a hex code of 707070, and that's gonna be we're creating what we call variables. So this is how you do this in CSS. So we're gonna do I'm doing a primary color, I'm doing a secondary color. This will allow for us to kind of float around and modularize our CSS, meaning that we can always come up here to the source. If we ever wanted to change the colors, I can carry around this same one instead of typing it out over and over again. I can just keep throwing these all down in here, and I'll show you how we make that happen. And I'm able to kind of come up here to the source, and if I wanted to change it out and get another specific color, everything is influenced by this particular variable would change. So if I want all of them to be red, and then everybody jump to red. So you can love it. It's just cool, like the simple stuff we got out of the box, with CSS. It's all about just learning it, right? So I got sky blue here. I got D3E, 9, F8. Again, you can do any color you like. I almost don't even want to bore you all with this, but I just want to kind of type it out a little bit, because I know we have a lot of videos out there where no one kind of does it. So I'm going to just kind of work these out. Feel free to kind of pause the video if you need to and kind of get these class codes, or you can actually speed up past it however you want to do it. It is, hey, your world. Do your thing. This is your learning experience. So we got accent. I'm gonna do a light color. Everybody just know light's pretty much white, and then a dark is gonna be black. So I got these served up. So that's it for the root. I just want to put a little bit in there. And next, we're gonna use controller command / I'm gonna comment out. I like to leave comments based on my areas of where I'm gonna be placing some styling. So These are some baseline styling I want to do. So for my entire document, I'm going to do a padding of 0, and I'm going to do a margin of 0. Now I did another image. CSS has image as well. We got a M:0. It gives you a margin of 0. You may see me doing that from time to time. That's why I went ahead and backtrack so you can see it. All right, we got a box sizing of border box. I bet you're wondering why the heck do people always do this. It shows you right here. Let's take a look. So the specific width and height in respect of min-max properties on this element determine the border box of the element. So yes, so in a nutshell, this is going to count for the width and the height of min-max properties. So it's going to pretty much allow for whatever the image or anything you're sizing up. It's going to take all that under consideration. So it's a natural setting that I often see in people's codes. So I decided to do it as well. Again, you're just starting, it doesn't matter. I kind of throw it out there. So we have a padding of 1 M. One day I'm going to break those all down. The M's, rims, just kind of roll with it right now, because that's a whole nother video. I want to kind of work some stuff in. Again, we're just starting off, folks. So let's crawl here first. We're doing a font size of 1.25 rim. Each of these means something. Just to give you kind of a rundown slightly though, M is emphasis, so emphasize. It lets you kind of know how that works. So you can always hover over this stuff to get a deeper understanding. That's the cool thing about when you kind of come in VS Code. Rem that's from root element. So our root size of all documentation is 16 pixels. So then you work your mathematics from there. So these are just things you'll learn over time. It really just takes exposure. That's kind of how I ended up doing it. So I'm going to do our global styles, and I'm going to do a class flex, or period flex. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I'm taking up too much time now, so we're gonna probably go ahead and serve up some of the content here. So let's do that. Let's speed this thing up a little bit, because it's not gonna be all day, guys. So I did a flex for flex. Display a flex. That's all Flexbox is. A display of flex, justify content center, got margins 50 pixels, up, down, left, and right. And then I have the rest of these. Let's go ahead and drop these in, folks, because I'm well over my time. I don't want to be that much over the time. I'd rather go down a little bit of this and just show you the end results. And then, like I said, we'll take deeper dives. I feel like all these deserve their own time, if you will. So let's go back up. So I just want to kind of run through a little bit, but it's going to be the same redundant, boring stuff. All right. So we have a class of MT for the margin top, 100 pixels heading. Add the color, and using that variable of secondary, so that's that pink color. And then we got font size 2M, text transform uppercase I told you about. Margin bottom, that little push at the bottom from the heading, so I get create a little space between the headlines and the text of lorem ipsum down below it. All right, class CDA, background, got it set for the accent color. I got a border. None, got some padding, border radius. So you see these guys. I'm going to kind of slowly scroll it so that you can actually catch this, so that as you go down through here and into the code, you're able to get a glimpse of it. So it's just very straightforward, guys. I really don't want to bore you with it, but I know how it is when people slap CSS up here. You got to kind of catch it all. So it's what we have: the center blurb. We have the class nav. So commented it off as navigation styles. Yeah, brand, the image. We have our nav links. And I'm gonna honestly just drop this down in the description below, but some people like to kind of just pause, take a look, but I'll have this in the description below as well, folks. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end results. So again, this is what we're working on, and we're gonna piece it together and get it blended out. And I'll tell you what, I actually need to add one more piece in there for that card. So let me do that real quick. All right, guys, look, I had to go back and readjust a couple of things. I had to go back in here and I removed some padding off the HTML. See that? And I also added a global style of container. So again, I'm just going through it now, but you'll see this once this video is posted up. It'll be down in the description, your what you will need for the CSS. All right. So that's there. And I did a couple of other adjustments. I added a class of card so that I can make those cards that we'll see in just a minute. And the class of icon, I made some changes here. Well, I say changes, but I started adding some style to that particular class. And I pulled in Font Awesome. So I'll show you that here in a little bit too. So again, all this will be already in the description below. Just kind of wanted to highlight that sometimes that happens. Sometimes you think you got it all planned out, and then you got to kind of go back, make some tweaks, and work it out. So we'll work our way up to the top. This is our style sheet, right? Our external style sheet. So I have that already included here, right? Right before it is where I will drop, which will be in the description below. I will drop another link tag, and that will route out to CDN, which is, if you don't know what that means, it's a cloud delivery network service. Cloudflare is one that probably everyone uses, but over there they have a file for us already prepared, a minified CSS file of Font Awesome. So grabbed it, and then I came down to that card section. You saw me have us duplicate 3 times, and came and dropped in the class that's needed to create a clock. All right, not the same clock we had in the layout on our Adobe XD, but nonetheless, it's a clock. It'll work. So as I tweaked up some more of this, again, it's already in the CSS. Once you copy and paste it from there, if you want to follow along, I would almost encourage you to go ahead and just copy and paste in the style, take a look, and then pull out some stuff and create your own, or just make it all bare and just strip the CSS all together and then tweak it how you would like. So those are some cool things you can do. Again, this is just about as practical as I could get it, and just kind of want to show you the end result. So a lot of opportunities in it, but it's a lot more factors in it. Prime example, this is our layout. So again, I'm on a different screen resolution, so this is not prepared, not fully optimized for anything mobile or anything like that. So those are tweaks you can make on your own, or just wait to another video when I do that. All right, it's pretty lengthy. It's gonna take a while doing that kind of stuff. I want to make sure I break these down in chunks moving forward better than what I did on this one. All right, so all right, this is what we got. So we got the layout. Again, that spacing is all based on the avatar I got too, so it's a lot of other factors in it. But yeah, I would have got something a little more, I wouldn't say as busy, but something that stands out a little bit more behind it, or some blob or something. But anyway, so we got our text, we got our 2-column layout here, and then we got our cards, and then we have our bottom placement with our call to action and the footer. So very simple, guys, very simple layout. You drop this code in, and bring in your own logo, and some of your own text and some of your own graphics, and then you'll too be to do these cool kind of simple layouts. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Super late on dropping this one, but I wanted to go ahead and drop this in today, and then I'm going to, in the next couple of days, go ahead and jump another video. So stay tuned. Catch it down below. If you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe, guys. And until next time, we'll see you.